As with most tragedies, this one started with an offer, not the kind of romantic overture or a chivalrous appeal. It was an agreement with complicated promises and frantic signatures, a move wrapped in family shame and infused with silent fear. And at the center of it all, like a man poised on the precipice, was Kody Brown, a once charismatic, multifaceted head of a large, plural family. By the time Kody presented Robyn and her daughters with the envelope, his so-called plan, the Arizona sun had already dipped below the horizon. Each word that followed seemed to be absorbed by the walls of the house, now eerily silent and cold. The once bustling home, filled with Janelle's boys around the dinner table, Christine's children's laughter, and even Mary's awkward attempts at peace, had grown quiet. All that was left were splinters of broken bonds, bitterness, and silence. Robyn, her legs folded and one hand clutching the hem of her cardigan, sat silently on the cream-colored couch. Lately, the pressure had etched its mark on her face. Her previously vibrant face, thinner, whiter, creased with worry lines. Hi everyone, welcome back on my channel. Don't forget to like this video. Opposite her, her daughters Aurora, 21, and Brianna, 19, stood tall, determined. While they hadn't inherited their mother's willingness to concede, they possessed her strength, just not in the ways Kody knew, keen, guarded, and once fiercely devoted, but no longer. Kody slapped a manila folder on the coffee table. The flat thud it made rang like a gunshot in the quiet. "I need your signatures," he said, his voice hushed, as if raising it would somehow expose the shame of it all. Aurora was the first to speak, her hazel eyes narrowing. "You're serious?" "This isn't about me," Kody shot back, beginning to pace. "It's about the family, all of us, about preserving what we've built. The land, Coyote Pass, the trust accounts, cleaning up your mess," Brianna interrupted. "You want us to repair your flaws." Again, the atmosphere changed. Robyn's hands shook as she picked up her water glass but did not take a sip. Her voice was soft, almost inaudible. "Girls, please, just listen. He's under a lot of pressure." Aurora turned to her mother sharp. "Pressure? He's asking us to sign away our savings. The accounts Grandma left us. That's not pressure, Mom. That's theft." Kody's composure began to falter. He ran a hand through his thinning hair and stopped pacing. The charm that once defined him was fading. Once a tool of control, his charm now looked pathetic, like a shattered mask slipping off. "Stay here in this house," he spit out, "and you dine off of this. I raised you when you were kids." "It isn't a plea. It's a question of family obligation." Brianna walked in close, grit clenched in her teeth. "You cared for us when it made your persona shine. With cameras running, you pretended the role, noble father to Robyn's daughters. But the cameras quit running, and you did." Her words lingered in the air. Robyn looked down. Kody's rage boiled over. "You don't talk to me like that in my house." Aurora stood by her sister's side. "Then maybe we shouldn't be staying in your house any." Silence. No one stirred. The room caught its breath. 4 statues locked in a split moment that changed everything. Kody's nostrils flared, his face distorting into something foreign, bitter, warm. "Fine," he barked. The words snapped like a whip. "If you won't support this family, then leave. Pack up your stuff. Go." Robyn breathed a shocked gasp. "Kody, no." But it was already too late. The line had been drawn. Aurora's face went white, then rosy with rage. "You're kicking us out because we won't help you scam the government and bleed Grandma's money dry?" Kody did not answer. Instead, he vanished, fleeing into the kitchen like a sulkily indignant child after a tantrum. The girls did not wait for Robyn's apologies. They turned, climbed the stairs, and quietly set about packing their lives into bags. Their shared room was tiny, filled with books, photographs, and the detritus of childhood. Birthday cards from siblings, graduation photos, small jewelry boxes Robyn had given them. A lavender perfume still lingered in the air, once soothing, now tainted by betrayal. Aurora sat cross-legged on her bed, attempting to fold clothes tidily, but her hands shook. Her eyes were red and puffy. Brianna moved swiftly, almost stiffly, adamant not to allow Kody to witness her shattering. "He's been falling apart for some time now," she breathed, loud enough only for Aurora to catch. "Since Christine, then Janelle, then Mary. Now he and Mom are the only ones left. And he's trying to keep the pieces together with falsehoods. And the paperwork," Aurora continued, her tone icy. "He doesn't even treat us as daughters anymore, just assets, pawns." They stood, looking around at the room that they were now ready to bid goodbye to. Late-night movies were watched there. Late-night confessions whispered. Sleepovers had been done here with Solomon and Ariella. Now it felt hollowed out, like all the life was drained out of the space. It felt like the house, too, was not welcoming them back anymore. Below, the manila folder remained unwaveringly unopened on the coffee table. Robyn remained isolated in the living room, standing stock still for what had felt like more than an hour. Upstairs, she could hear the drawers being yanked open, the zipping of bags, every noise cutting deeper than the previous one. In the kitchen, Kody grumbled under his breath, cradling his third whiskey. "Sometime they'll get it," he slurred. "They'll realize I did this for all of us." But even he didn't believe himself anymore. The girls eventually came downstairs. No goodbyes, no last glances, just a quiet march of determination. They had jackets over pajamas and bags over weary shoulders. Wordlessly, they passed right by their mother. Robyn stepped forward, her arms quivering as though they would extend. Her lips quivered, her eyes overflowed. "Please," she breathed. Brianna spun about, facing her mother square on. "You chose him!" And with that, she unlocked the door. Aurora trailed behind quietly. They walked out into the cool quiet of the desert night, its silence paradoxically more comforting than anything within the house. As the door swung shut behind them, the family portrait slid from Robyn's lap, the glass frame shattering across the hardwood floor. She fell into the couch. Kody didn't turn around. In similar news, Sister Wives star Christine Brown has become a lifestyle influencer since exiting her plural marriage. She and her new spouse, David Woolley, have even started a business enterprise together. Having broken with her 27-year-long spiritual marriage to Kody Brown, in which she was the third wife and mother of 6, Christine has made significant leaps forward. Throughout most of her marriage, she had dedicated herself to raising their children as a stay-at-home mom. Whereas Kody and his other wives were working outside, Christine stayed home, bringing up their children. She was the one responsible for caring for most of Kody's 18 children, mostly serving as the primary caregiver. By the time Sister Wives Season 19 reached the airwaves, Christine's life had changed dramatically. Since parting ways with Kody, Christine has become much more active and present on Instagram. No longer confined to being a stay-at-home mom, she swiftly turned into a girl boss, amassing a booming career. The reality TV star frequently shares recipes and meal ideas, such as a recent broccoli and cheese that had people going wild. "These were easy, but so yummy," she captioned the image. Her fans have grown to love the special blend of work grind and home charm that characterizes Christine's content. She's been all in on living a real life since she broke up with Kody. Beyond sharing her domestic side, Christine has also embraced health and wellness. Since the breakup, she's lost 40 pounds and has turned her focus to helping others reach their fitness goals. She even helped her husband David shed 25 pounds. Recently, Christine posted a motivational reel on Instagram that truly captured her mindset. "You're not broken," she said. "You're rebuilding." Christine has a mission: to get other people to pursue happiness the way she has. Walking away from Kody was a leap of faith, and since then, she's overhauled her life entirely. She went from being a stay-at-home mom to becoming an influencer who now has a fan base quickly growing into the millions. Alongside David, she has also scaled their Airbnb business while staying highly active on Instagram. In addition to that, Christine is authoring a book, which is now pre-orderable. Presently, Christine has a following of 1.5 million on Instagram, and she's not making every ounce of it go in vain. Kody Brown, the patriarch of Sister Wives, has long been famous for his peculiar style of speaking, and a lot of his most notorious moments emerge straight away from how he decides to describe himself, his household, and the upheaval around him. For more than a decade, Sister Wives has followed the Brown family, chronicling Kody's experience with his many wives and complicated dynamics of plural marriage. Throughout the series' long course, viewers have been treated to Kody being, well, Kody. And while some things he does make more sense, other things, and especially how he talks, have left fans perplexed. Before finally marrying Robyn Brown, Kody had already been through marriages with Mary, Janelle, and Christine Brown. Throughout the years old, his bizarre vocabulary has always left his relatives and television fans amused or miserably lost. Rather than being concerned with building his relationships, Kody has tended to be more committed to controlling his image, not wanting to be labeled the bad guy of the family. While he obviously wants to be perceived as the hero of the tale, his strange facial expressions and stilted wording have only made it more difficult to attain. Even Robyn has made passing jokes about talking Kody, recognizing his unique manner of communicating. While it may be confounding for viewers, Kody's unique speaking style has indisputably marked him as a reality TV persona unlike any other. From carelessly tossed remarks to oddly genuine statements, and even the odd comment that edges on manipulative, Kody's spontaneous word decisions have become the essence of Sister Wives' heritage. Whether awkward, funny, or downright incomprehensible, Kody's off-the-cuff one-liners have become an integral part of the show's legacy that it is almost a task in itself to reduce them to just 10 quotable gems. As Sister Wives Season 19 proved to be one of the show's longest-running seasons, however, certain observations on Kody Brown were able to shine through, pointing to his ever-changing role and attitude. Although some of Kody's most endearing quotes are presented in a comedic fashion, they often represent a man struggling with drastic life shifts, but just not in his usual awkward, quirky manner. Since the early years, Kody asserted himself as the most significant figure in the room. At one very tense point, he insisted on respect from his 4 wives, not as a request, but as a requirement. At that time, Kody acted out the role of the archetypal patriarch, assuming that every wife contributed something different to their multiple families. He professed to treat them all the same, but it was obvious, particularly to viewers, that Robyn was special in his heart from the beginning. Kody never made a secret of his preference, but the longer they lived together, the stronger it became. In one particularly unforgettable scene, obviously frustrated, Kody spoke to his wives in a voice that brooked no argument. He called himself the general and bluntly asserted, "No matter how stupid I am, I'm the president." The quote was both shocking and revealing, demonstrating how far he was leaning into the concept of complete authority, even though he knew his wives did not exactly concur. In a more recent episode, Kody had a brutally honest conversation with Mary about the state of their relationship and eventual divorce. The candor was unexpected and raw, offering viewers a rare, unfiltered look at their emotional distance. Although Kody and Mary shared the longest marriage among all his wives, their bond deteriorated following Mary's emotional affair, which led to a catfishing scandal. Mary tried to make amends, apologizing and asking for forgiveness, but it was obvious Kody had already emotionally moved on. When she pushed for clarity and asked questions she had carried around for years, Kody gave little in return. His leadership wasn't about mutual understanding, it was about keeping control. Before Mary actually made the decision to divorce Kody, she posed him a question that had probably been on her mind for years: how he really felt about it. Kody answered with remarkable candor. Although he did not specifically mention the catfishing, his words unmistakably put the blame on Mary for his own lack of love and affection. He did not even attempt to look inward at his own faults. While it's tragic to expect from Kody by now, his refusal to accept responsibility still shocks. It's apparent now that Kody's affections for Robyn only grew stronger over time. Having moved from being a man of multiple marriages to one who has been living monogamously for more than a year, Kody's transformation has mostly revolved around Robyn. Despite they've been married for over a decade, their relationship is now imbued with new meaning now that the rest of the marriages have ended or dissipated. Christine was the first to leave, but Mary's divorce was arguably the most unexpected, especially considering how poorly Kody treated her by the end. In a recent Sister Wives episode, Kody opened up about the breakup with Mary and admitted something that stunned fans. While he appeared to care about both himself and Mary during the separation, his mind and heart had actually been preoccupied with Rob. In fact, Kody brushed off the idea that Mary even played a significant role in the breakdown of their relationship. Instead, he focused on how the divorce had affected Robyn. He shared that Robyn found the breakup extremely difficult, not because of Mary's feelings, but because it represented the end of a dream, one where Robyn could have shared a life with a full sisterhood of wives. Kody seemed far more concerned with Robyn's emotional response than Mary's pain. Despite claiming to be a devoted father to 18 children, Kody has struggled to maintain strong bonds with many of them. As they grew older, his time, energy, and attention have dwindled. While he did make an effort when they were younger, his inconsistent involvement has led many of his children to pull away. Now, a number of them are not very interested in keeping a relationship with him, something that keeps becoming increasingly obvious with each and every passing season. Some of Kody's children continue to try to stay in contact with him, but there are others who have cut him off. Many are confused by his choices and behavior, which has resulted in permanent tension. Even in these broken relationships, Kody will frequently discuss his children on sister wives, even when the exchanges are not complimentary. He regularly compliments their intelligence, but commonly by making it about his own deficiencies, calling himself a bonehead while noting their brilliance. It's his quirky way of admitting that they're not like him, maybe even superior to him in some respects. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Kody was one of the more outspoken figures on reality television regarding family lockdowns. He said he was doing everything in his power to protect the family and stay connected, but his children viewed many of his regulations as being over the top and unrealistic. Though he resided full-time with Robyn and the children, he set strict standards that he demanded others to also obey, even when they were not all residing in the same place. During season 16, Kody's response to the pandemic boiled over. His ground rules sounded controlling and even dictatorial as he demarcated areas of his house, such as the living room and kitchen, as areas where not everyone was invited. Instead of bringing the family together in a perilous and uncertain time, his actions further broke their bonds. Kody tends to speak in circles, which has become a bit of a signature on Sister Wives, but because he talks a lot, it doesn't necessarily mean he's being honest or making sense. Over the years, it has been apparent that Kody picks and chooses his words carefully, particularly when he's on camera. While some people think that he fabricates stories to cover for himself, Kody says he's just being descriptive and detailed. At one point, he even called his pattern of speaking sprouting poetry, a line that could have been a stab at self-conscience, but it largely contributed to the fusion. Kody referred to himself as spouting poetry on a recent episode of Sister Wives, a strange manner of saying he's some kind of wordsmith, when all too often he proves otherwise. His efforts to put his thoughts into words are often illogical, muddled, or simply bizarre. But one aspect of the show's enduring popularity has been seeing the family patriarch muddle through mundane speech in inadvertent ways that are comedic. Ever since his divorce streak, Kody has remained heavily fixated on Christine and the effect her decision to quit had on his life. Although his marriage to Robyn has survived, Kody's subsequent marriages fell apart after Christine's departure. He still asserts that her decision left him crushed and that it set off a chain reaction, prompting the rest of the wives to do the same. Though there may be some truth to that, the troubling part is Kody's refusal to accept any personal responsibility. Instead, he pins the blame squarely on Christine. For years now, Kody has attributed most of his personal and family problems to Christine. In one recent outburst, he employed the phrase circling the donkey to convey his exasperation, most likely a twisted version of circling the drain, which is more apt to the situation. Nevertheless, even in his muddle-headedness, Kody's strange turns of phrase reveal just how lost and beat he is. Following his pattern of deflecting responsibility, Kody called Christine Machiavellian during Sister Wives season 18, implying he thinks she's manipulative and calculating. He's acknowledged he wasn't an amazing husband to Janelle or Mary, but he holds on to the idea that Christine is to blame for his failure. To him, she not only left him, but empowered the others to stand up against him as well. Kody has also complained about Christine's conduct following their breakup, particularly over the intimacy she had been sharing with Janelle, saying she was Machiavellian, meaning someone who is clever, deceitful, and not afraid of behaving unethically in order to do whatever she wants. Kody explicitly indicated that he was very upset by the manner in which their relationship came to an end. This assessment reveals just how tenuous their relationship had been. Even though she is still in a relationship with Robyn, it is apparent from the recent seasons of Sister Wives that Christine is the one Kody continues to think about most.